joining them right now, or they're a solo artist. We're going to catch up with them throughout this next hour or less. We've got 9 of the artists of the 12 acts with us now. There's going to be 2 performances. If we keep on track, in just over 20 minutes, Yasi is going to perform her new single, World is Burning. And then Lady Gang's going to play the title track from her new album, Full Throttle, probably in about 40 minutes from now. Hope you can hang out with us the whole time. If you are live streaming from our website, thank you so much for being here. If you're on YouTube, checking it out now, don't forget you can interact with us. If you have a question, let us know in the little comments on the side. So let's get to it. Joining me is my co-host, Bruce. Hi, Bruce.
Hello, how's it going?
I'm good. This month has kind of flown by. We were talking the other day how we had, it's 31 days of a month and it sort of started off slow, but now it's in rapid mode.
I know, now we've got like a couple days left, but last week I thought that we had it. I thought this was happening last week and I was like, oh no, we have an entire week left. So I'm really glad it's finally here because I'm like in love with this lineup. So I'm really excited to talk with some of these artists today.
Yeah. And again, what is time anyways? We're a year into the pandemic and these stay-at-home orders. I did see today that by April 2nd, Coloradans that are 16 and older are going to be eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine, which is super rad.
Hopefully that means we've got some live music coming up.
I know.
That's all I want.
Fingers crossed. I'm excited for our live music in this moment. Okay, so how this works, Bruce and I take turns with our featured artists for the month. We do little bite-sized interviews that are about 4 minutes each. Also, we ask each artist the same question. So Bruce, I'll start with you. It's Women's History Month. What is a song by a female artist that uplifts you right now?
Well, I just have to mention like my general theme song is Cannonball by the Breeders. And so that's always one that gets me going. And recently Tune Yards just covered it for that new 4AD project that's coming out later this week. And I can't remember the exact, Bills and Aches and Blues, I think is what it's called. But I have that on repeat and the rest of Tune Yards' new album. So we'll go with Breeder/Tune Yards. What about you?
So I've been running a lot lately and I need uplifting music while I run. So this song called Self-Care by Tank and the Bangas has been like hitting the spot for me. It's about someone that's just being resilient to like bad people in their life. It's like, I'm ready to get myself back, nothing but myself. And I don't know, it's a jammer that gets me going when I'm running. And it's like, yeah, this total bop. And I'm looking forward to hearing what everyone else has to say about a song that uplifts them. So should we get started? Bruce, you're going to take it away with Ellsworth.
I am. Ellsworth. This is the project of Megan Rose Ellsworth. Hello, darling.
Hello, darling.
It's good to see you and like kind of meet you. I can't wait to meet you in person. How are you doing today?
Likewise. I'm doing well. I can't wait to meet all of you in person.
Your computer just like slowed down for whatever reason. So hopefully you're a little bit frozen right now. So hopefully we'll get you in just a sec. Oh, there we go. I see your face. You're moving. Okay. Of course, we're on Zoom, so that's gotta happen here. Your debut album is out now though, and we've been hearing from it all month long. So tell me more about writing the album and putting it out at the beginning of this year.
Yeah, sorry. Can you say that one more time?
Yes, I can. You put your debut album out earlier this year, self-titled. We've been hearing from it all month long for the local 303. So tell me about recording it and then putting it out at the beginning of this year.
Yeah, so recording it was really a long process because I started it the fall of 2019 and that
Again.
Bruce, we could do a little swapper and I can start talking with Bunny Blake.
Yes, Ellsworth, we're going to come back to you.
Yeah, Megan, we'll give you a little swap and your audio is bunching up a little bit. And you know what? This happens. We're in Zoom. It's a new world. It's cool. We'll come back to you. Okay, Bunny Blake, you are unmuted. Hello, girl. Nice to meet you. I've been a fan of your music ever since I was tipped off on you a year or so ago. I'm so happy to have you here.
You're so sweet. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
So you've been doing a Patreon for your fans throughout this pandemic?
Yes, I have. I just started it because normally I gig full time. I play at like bars and restaurants. It's my job all the time. So this was my way of trying to not be completely broke during these COVID times. And I just really appreciate my fans coming through. It's been fun.
Yeah, so it's been fun. What is something that you offer to them in your little Patreon world?
I do live videos every month. I'm also a producer, so I produce and fully write a new song every single month. I do guitar tutorials because guitar is my jam, and some behind the scenes things too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So guitar is your jam because you're like a front facing, like an electro pop artist almost, but guitar is another passion of yours?
Yeah, guitar is like what got me started playing. My dad's an amazing guitarist. I'm a fingerstyle acoustic guitar player, and that's like people who see me live, that's generally what they actually end up seeing.
Ah, okay.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah. How's your musical momentum right now?
You know, it's interesting. It's hard not to feel just completely disconnected. I'm trying to like write a lot by myself, but it's way more fun for me to write with others and do big collaborative projects. So it's going, but it's like I'm really excited for things to open back up too.
Yeah. What is one thing that you're looking forward to in the after times, if this is the,
Mostly, I'm sorry to I didn't mean to interrupt you, but my biggest thing is I just want to be stuck in a studio with many people for like 10 hours a day, every single day. If that was my whole life, I would be completely happy. All I want to do is write.
Well, you're throwing it out there. We're going to manifest this for you, 2021.
Yes.
You too?
Yes.
For those of us that have been like binging all the TV during this time, I want to mention that your project name, Bunny Blake, comes from a character in the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Episode called Ring a Ding Girl from 1963. I love that anecdote. And maybe it's because I'm a fan of Twilight Zone, but can you share a little bit more insight on choosing this?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So Twilight Zone is my favorite show ever. And I don't know how many of y'all might have known me by my legal name, but I was doing music with my legal name initially, and the music was really, really different. And when I decided I want to like go in the direction of music that I like to actually listen to, I knew I needed a new name. And I just wanted to base it off of something, some kind of media that I already liked. And to be honest, a lot of names are already taken too. So it was a journey of finding this one.
I love it. All right. The question that we're going to be asking everyone throughout this hour, what's a song by a female artist that is uplifting you right now?
So there's this artist, her name's Sizzy Rocket. She's not like super famous, but she freaking will be. And she has a song called That Bitch, and that is the jam.
I got to look it up.
Yeah, do. You'll like her a lot.
I'm so glad we got to talk. Thank you so much for joining us and letting us celebrate your music this month for the Local 303.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes. All right, Bruce, who do we got up next?
We're speaking with mi prima, Bevan Luna, out of Fort Collins. Hey, Bevan.
Hola, 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 prima. ¿Cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás? I'm well. How are you doing?
Doing wonderful. Thank you so much. Appreciate you having me.
I feel like we just got to know you really well the other day because you and Alicia talked on our Instagram live, which was great. And it's been a few years since you've come into the CPR Performance Studio. That was back in 2018.
Wow.
New album out this year, though, Buchanan. I have been saying it incorrectly all month long. But talk more about what this album dives into. Tell me about creating Buchanan.
Yeah, Buchanan was a junior high I went to in West Tennessee. My mom's family's from there, and they've been in that area since like the early 1800s. And with 2020 and not being able to go home and visit, I got really nostalgic, and I had an uncle pass away a couple years ago. I think it was 2019, and it was kind of the end of an era for me and my family with him passing away. So it was sort of a tribute to that side of my family. He always played music and sang with us around the bonfires, and it just kind of dives into that. And the school actually has been abandoned, and it's grown over by all these kudzu vines. So it's like this haunted thing in the Stephen King movie. You go there and it's like frozen in time, and it's in the middle of nowhere by this old feed co-op in West Tennessee. And it's just like really a huge inspiration for the vibe of the album.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like you can kind of paint the picture with the music that you have on there. Speak a little bit more about 2020. You said that, you're normally out doing shows and performing and all that, but this past year you were really able to explore recording and collaboration. So tell me a little bit more about what you've learned this past year.
I've learned that it's so much better to collaborate with people and stop trying to do everything myself. Because I've always tried to do everything myself and coordinate everything. And it's been really nice to reach out to people that I really trust and work with them and learn how to, record at home and not just rely on a studio sound engineer to take care of that for me. So, I'm taking a class right now for production and sort of looking at sync licensing opportunities. And so it's been a huge pivot from playing shows and planning on going on tour to trying to learn how to hone in my home recording skills.
Yeah, that's a question I am really interested in. I'm going to ask your pal Lady Gang this question also later this afternoon, but tell me about the pivot from going to a lot of performing to really being at home. What was it like a year ago today?
I was having a panic attack because I'd spent the year before planning a tour to the UK and working with my friends over there. And I just thought, wow, what a waste of time. But actually, the more I sort of sank into the reality of what was happening in the world, it was a nice opportunity to just start collecting all of the equipment I needed, whether it was, new microphones or interface for my computer or, whatever that might be. I just started a whole process of collecting gear that I didn't have at my disposal at home.
Well, and we've got about a minute left before we're going to move on to our next featured artist. But what's a song that uplifts you right now by a femme artist?
There's so many. It's hard. 13th Century Metal by Brittany Howard. Fortune by Wye Oak. See What You Done by Mary J. Blige. There's so many songs. I could go on, but all those songs are at the top of my list right now.
All right, you should make us a playlist and then maybe we can share it or something like that.
Done.
Everybody's homework. I've just declared that. So
consider it done.
All right, great. I hope to see you soon up in Fort Collins. Do you have any live music planned or anything, or a live stream coming up that we can look forward to?
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're going to live stream it, but we're going to play out on the back lawn at the Lyric Cinema on Saturday, April 3rd. So it's a nice, huge space. If anybody's in Fort Collins, feel free to stop by. It'll be safe, mask, social distancing, and all that stuff, and plenty of room for people to have a good time.
All right, cool. Field trip up to Fort Collins. I'm going to switch it back over to Alicia. Good to talk with you, Bevan.
Thank you. Good to talk to you.
And yeah, Fort Collins, my hometown, represent. We've got Cal and Elin up next. So I've been really looking forward to catching up with them, looking forward to this because Cal Cahoon has been a mainstay, a fixture in my Colorado musical life for over 20 years. She's had this band, Tarantella, that I loved, played with the group Denver Gentlemen, and has kind of been defined as one of the artists that has created the Denver sound that is often associated with the late 90s and early 2000s for those that know the history out of our city. And same with Elin Palmer. She's been a part of so many of those bands throughout the years as well. Hello to you two.
Hello.
Great to see you guys. So how's it going throughout COVID this past year for you musically?
I feel like I've been more productive than ever, but I unlike a lot of these wonderful ladies, don't play out a lot. So, but I do very much miss playing and recording and writing music with my friends like Elin.
Yeah. And when did you guys start your project together, Cal and Elin?
I can't say it's officially a project. It's more like sometimes when it's just her and I, we play songs or write songs, but we also play with the band. But so that little 5-song EP was our kind of like our songs, right, Elin?
Yeah. So. Mm-hmm.
Who's the primary songwriter between you two, or is it collaborative?
I write most of the songs, but I couldn't do it without Elin. So,
can you guys remember when you met? And was it at a show or?
Yeah, I met her when she was touring with my friend's 16 horsepower, and she was like 16 years old.
Yeah, that's true.
And she was so cute, and they were going to Europe, and she was an amazing violinist. And then we just played shows because she was with Munley's band, and then we just crossed paths with Tarantella, and she just started playing for my CDs, and I just can't do music without her. Like,
I love, thanks. Yeah, I just love playing with Cal. So it's very inspiring just to, put some violin on anything that she does or whatever instrument. So,
well, you play every instrument, Elin, so.
yeah.
That is true. You're pretty versatile. You've played with so many bands throughout the years. So you were on tour when you were 16 years old. I guess we've known each other, I think, since we were like teenagers and everything. So you were on tour like overseas. Were your parents cool with that and stuff? Obviously,
I think I had graduated high school, so I must have been like 18, like maybe 17. Yeah. So I wonder now, because I'm a parent, and I don't think I would be cool with it, but they were somehow okay with that. So yeah.
I hear you. What was one of your most favorite bands to play with throughout the years for both of you? Elin, you can go first.
Well, I really do just love playing with Cal. Like, it's nice that I just like her vocal sound and everything that she does. So it's been just one of my favorite projects. So
yeah. How about for you, Cal? What is a music memory that you have that you can share with us?
Well, that's very sweet, Elin, but I also didn't mention she's an amazing singer. So I just love working with Elin, but I suppose my days with Tarantella were kind of over the top. I wasn't prepared or ready for that. I had never really been a musician before.
Damn it.
So I just didn't, I was suddenly just, wow, Denver, here I am. And so it was crazy days. And then, since it's been very different, and that's fine.
Yeah, for sure. And I love this little song that you did with your friends in CCCP. I can't remember what that stands for, but the Argentinian.
Yeah, that was a collective. I'm also on a few on their other CDs, but it was a collective of like 40 musicians, and it was really a neat time during the really closed in time of the pandemic to just be making music with people so far away. Love doing that.
Yeah, which more of that story is online on our website and Cal's profile. I think we got to move on. I'm just so glad we had these few minutes to talk through this afternoon. Thanks for being a part of the Local 303.
Thank you.
Yeah. Who's up next, Bruce?
I'm going to be speaking with Stop Motion. And before I get to that, I do have to say that Cal Cahoon CCCP song is great. And you can hear it in Especial Wednesday nights at 10, like every single week. But let's talk to Faith with Stop Motion. How's it going, Faith?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good to meet you. I've been listening to you all month, obviously. So I really like the story of how you and your band met. There's some like lifelong pals here, and then you moved to Denver and met the rest of your band. So tell me about creating Stop Motion.
Yeah, so the beginning of Stop Motion happened when I was 16, and I met my partner, who is also the guitarist, Evan Lay. We have a pretty corny story where we met at a music summer camp, and instantly I was like, oh, I want to play music with him. And then like 2 seconds later, I was like, oh, I'm going to date him. And I manifested it. And, 6.5 years later, we're still making music together. And then, we moved to Denver for school, and we then met the rest of our bandmates here, who a few of them through school, a few of them through some local jams. And I'm just super, super happy with the music that we're able to make together, and just they're all my best friends. So it's great.
And tell me how your background, and tell me about how your guys' backgrounds all come together to create this sound. Are you the primary songwriter, or is it kind of more of a collaborative effort?
So it's definitely more of a collaborative effort. The first bit of songs that we released under stop motion were just Evan and I writing them together. But now we've ventured into a lot more of even split when we write songs. And yeah, the background of everyone, it's so eclectic. You know, we have people who are very focused in jazz. Our bassist has a lot of experience in like Latin music, and there's our keyboardist knows a lot of like neo soul, hip hop. I come from a really eclectic background where I did musical theater. I was in rock groups. When I like write solo stuff, I'm very like folk singer songwriter. So it's kind of a mishmash of like a bunch of different genres, but I think that that's what makes the sound as so special, is that we're all able to incorporate our own musical backgrounds into one thing.
Definitely. And you guys have 2 EPs out now, and there's more coming here in 2021. What can we look forward to this year from stop motion?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, 2 EPs and a couple singles now at this point. And right now our goal is we have a bunch of singles that we had recorded, and there was a plan of release in 2020. And of course, you know, plans kind of got all messed up. But so at this point, we're releasing singles. And the goal with all of those is to do accompanying music videos with every single one. So music videos as well.
That's exciting. And how have you guys been able to keep in contact over the past year? Are you guys kind of like potted up together, or was it a lot of Zoom meetings? Or tell me a little bit about being able to be in a band this past year.
Yeah, it was challenging. And as of right now, yeah, we're potted up basically. But there was definitely an extended period of time where, you know, we were trying to be really, really strict about not going anywhere. So we didn't see each other, and we were doing Zoom writing sessions. And, you know, you got to get kind of creative. But I think at points, like even just getting things on Zoom, we were able to be very like focused in our writing process, and in a strange way it helped with that. And I'm really thankful though at this point that the vaccines are rolling out, and a lot of us have been able to already be fully vaccinated, and so it's really opening things up for us being able to play more together, and because it's ultimately what we really love to do, is get together and play.
Definitely. All right. So hopefully that means that we've got like a stop motion show coming up on the way. Before I toss things back to Alicia, you list so many amazing influences on your profile at indie1023.org. Tell me about a song by a femme artist that's like really uplifting you right now.
Absolutely. So yeah, from one of those artists that I mentioned, Lake Street Dive, which is a group who has 2 females in there. It's Bridget, and who plays bass, and Rachel, who's the main vocalist. And they've just been an inspiration for me since I was a teenager. They came out with an album, and one of the featured tracks is called Being a Woman. And it's a really poignant song about just the day-to-day life of being a woman, and getting up and punching the clock day in, day out. And I'm very inspired by it.
Love it. All right. Well, it was really nice getting to know you, Faith. Looking forward to hearing more from stop motion. Alicia, you've got our first performer up next.
I do. And before we get to Yasi, I realized I forgot to ask Cal and Elin about songs that from a female artist that uplift them now. So Cal and Elin, how about for both of you? What comes to mind?
I know mine really fast is Lola Marsh singing She's a Rainbow. Don't know if it's her song, but her voice kills me. It's amazing.
I'll look that up. How about you, Elin?
I really like a singer named Karin Kjellman, and so basically anything she does is cool.
Mm-hmm. Where's she from?
Sweden.
That's what I thought. Elin is also is half Swedish, right? Like, or you have citizenship in both Sweden and here in the States.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool. All right, I had forgotten that. So so thank you. And let's get on to our first performer, Yasi. Hello.
Hey.
Hey. Before I forget the question that we're asking everybody, what is a song by a female artist that uplifts you right now?
I love anything that Remy Wolf is doing, so I would have to say that. And I really like the remix of Photo ID with Dominique Fike.
That's a super cool one too. Well, welcome. Great to see you.
Thanks, you too.
We premiered your new single, World is Burning, just over a week ago, and that was awesome. And you're going to be performing that for us in a very short bit, but let's paint the picture a little bit. What's music been like for you over this past year? It doesn't seem like you've slowed down except for the fact that you're not out touring.
Yeah, I mean, this time last year when everything went to whatever it is. Yeah, I was like just touring a bunch and I didn't really get to work on music. So in a weird way, the pandemic allowed me to kind of just like fall back in love with the studio. And, you know, I was just doing writing sessions back in LA for like 6 months. And yeah, it's been amazing just re-loving writing. And I think that's something that I didn't really have an opportunity to do because I was always playing shows.
So what's set the scene for you writing? What does that experience have to be like for you?
I won't lie, like I always thought I had to come out of a session with like a hit or else I was like not a real songwriter, I wasn't a real musician. And when I kind of explained that to John, the guy that I produced and made the album with, he was just like, you need to chill. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, every session doesn't have to be out of the park. Like, you can mess up, you can write a great song, you can write an awful song, but you show up, and that's what really matters. And I think once I got it out of my head that I needed to be perfect, the songs just started to kind of flow. And yeah, I'm excited that this EP is going to be out so I can get back into the studio because I hate releasing music.
You do?
Yeah, I honestly really hate releasing music. It's just like this anticlimactic feeling that I don't know. But the hard work starts once everything's out. So that's what I at least keep telling myself.
And in the process of things, have you found that you like making music videos more or performing?
I think they're both their own entities. Like performing is just an energy that you'll never get. Like even doing live streams, you just don't get that feedback from the crowd. And selfishly, it like boosts your ego up. Like when you hit a cool note and somebody's like, yeah, and you're like, whoa. But making music videos is really fun, especially the last 2 music videos I made. And like World is Burning is coming out on Friday. And that was so fun because we just got to like break stuff and you kind of get to encapsulate a feeling for the next few minutes. So
cool. World is Burning is the song you're going to perform for us. I'll let you set it up. What I think I do remember about this, you wrote it in one studio session and just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, this was one where I got vocally produced. We just like wrote the song. He vocally produced me, and then we didn't touch it until I was done touring. So yeah, we wrote this pre-pandemic. So as
cool.
Bizarre as that sounds.
Yeah. All right, let's hear it.
Cool. You want money, dollars, cigarettes on the floor while you dancing. You ate on the bar where you go. You can say that you're happy and all, but your face gives away domino. What's a night to a lifetime? Wanna have a good time? Everybody's stuck on a timeline. Need some love and affection, real human connection. What's the real question on your mind? You want money, dollar bills, even though it only kills, and it never really heals how you feel inside. Getting high without the pills, no one ever really deals. World is burning, that's why everybody gets high. World is burning, burning, everybody gets high. World is burning, burning, everybody gets high. I'm losing my composure, getting all the way to drag. I wish I could see over all the I hate to hide. Give me something I can feel, 'cause I'm feeling so bad. I need something to take me away, 'cause the world got me real mad. 'Cause the world got me real mad. Oh, the world got me, oh, the world got me, oh, the world got me real mad. Oh, the world got me real mad. You want money, dollar bills, even though it only kills, and it never really heals how you feel inside. Getting high without the pills, no one ever really deals. World is burning, that's why everybody kills. World is burning, burning, everybody gets high. World is burning, burning, everybody gets high. You want money, dollar bills, even though it only kills, and it never really feels how you feel inside. You want money, dollar bills, even though it only, everybody gets high.
Clap, 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 clap. Yay! And people are going off in the Zoom call. Pow, pow. Thank you so much, Yasi, for sharing your new single with us.
No worries. Thank you guys for having me and just being a champion for local music. We all appreciate you.
Thanks. This is the Indie 1023 Local 303 virtual meetup. Still ahead, we've got chats with Isadora Edens, Pacific Ocean. We're going to check back in with Ellsworth. We've got Jen Cordy, aka Lady Gang. She's going to perform a track from her new album. I do want to mention we missed Povey, Jelai, and Kylie Kimball. They weren't able to join us this afternoon. And just one other thing of note, tonight at 6 p.m. on the radio, you can listen or tune in to hear our Boulder Strong special. It's hosted by Bruce and myself, and we remember those who we lost last week in the unthinkable mass shooting, just by trying to uplift with music from artists living in, from, or about Boulder. So that's tonight at 6 p.m. I hope you can join us for that. And up next, I want to bring Bruce back in to catch up with our Indie 1023 staff members.
Yes, so we've got Jason and Jeremy here today. So we've been asking all of our musicians what's a song that is uplifting them by a femme artist. But I want to ask you guys, because you're radio hosts, what's an album, like an iconic album by a female that you kind of always have in your library and that's kind of always close by? Jeremy, I'll let you go first.
Oh, an album. You put me on the spot a little bit. There's always those artists I go back to again and again, and Joni Mitchell is certainly one of them. Kate Bush, Hounds of Love, as far as a song goes, as far as an album goes. But Running Up That Hill is one I go back to again and again. I think it's so re-listenable and gets me going. And as far as recent stuff, I'm really excited for the new Flock of Dimes record. I always love Jen Wasner. She's part of Wyoke, of course, and Flock of Dimes is her solo thing, and we've been playing the song "You" from that upcoming record, Head of Roses, and just it's been an honor to play all of these artists here, new cuts from familiar faces and brand new artists to me, and it's been a pleasure to play all your music. I actually got to debut Yassi's song that she just performed. I got to debut that last week in the morning, so yeah, thank you.
I knew that you would have some like good albums. I was like, I'm asking this question specifically for Jeremy, but I know Jason will have some good ones as well. Jason, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. What are some albums from femmes that are always kind of in your lineup?
My go-to, and it has been for, decades now, is Patti Smith, Horses. I remember watching old punk documentaries and hearing people talk about that record and how they experienced it in the mid 70s. Obviously it came out way before my time, but hearing people talk about it and how it sounded otherworldly. When I listen to the record, I try and put myself in the shoes of somebody hearing it for the first time in 1975. It still sounds great in 2021, but to imagine how people experienced that record back in the mid 70s, it sounds mind-blowing now, but it's hard for me to wrap my head around how amazing that was sounding back in the mid 70s. And I've had friends that have interviewed her, and she just seems like one of the nicest people on the planet too. So I mean,
She
there's a
seems
lot
so
to
cool.
like there. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you read her book, what is it called, When We Were Kids? And she like details about
No.
like, read it. That's on
Yeah,
your
no,
I'm giving
I
everybody
need to.
homework.
Yeah, for sure. And then the album art too. I mean, the cover on, I mean, the photo on the cover. I mean, it's just too much.
And is there anybody like currently that we're playing on Indie 102.3 that you're like, that you're really enjoying, or that you're an album that you're looking forward to?
That new BB Doobie track sounds really good. It just came out last week. I think she teamed up with a couple of members from the 1975. So if you like that band and BB Doobie, it almost sounds like a hybrid. And I'm a huge fan of both. So I'm all in on that. The new Billy No Mates, a lesser known name, I'm super in on that. That Bomba Stereo track is Deja that we've been playing is like, and the Julian Baker record as well. There's a lot of great tracks on that one too. So
yeah, this year's been really good. All right, well, that was really quick from both of you, but it was good to chat with both Jeremy and Jason. Jeremy, of course, is our morning show host. Jason is our afternoon host. I am Bruce Trujillo, and I'm going to speak now with Specific Ocean, one of our local 303 bands. Thanks, guys. Thanks for talking to me. How's it going, Specific Ocean?
It's going well. Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to talk to you. So Camilla and Alec today. Okay, great. I was really worried about that. I want to start this off by talking about Quarantunes. And this is something that you had started last year and a couple of new songs coming out of that. But tell me a little bit more about making a song a day during the pandemic.
Yeah, so I was getting my master's degree in jazz composition at DU at the time. And so I was writing all the time for all these different settings that were like mandatory. And then when the pandemic hit, I was just able to write things I wanted to write. So I had people send me titles, and whatever title I got in that order, I would just write a tune inspired by that title. And I tried to do it every day. I think I maintained it for like the first 2 weeks and then kind of dropped off. But it produced some Specific Ocean songs and a lot for my jazz repertoire, like my trio and that kind of thing.
I mean, 2 weeks is like pretty dang good. That's like a week more than I would probably be able to.
Yeah.
So that's pretty great. And a lot of sounds that go into your music, of course, jazz, and you just graduated with your master's, yeah?
Yep, in June.
Congratulations. So tell me a little bit more about the musical backgrounds going into Specific Ocean. I know you mentioned you have another project, but what about this band and everybody's influence here?
Yeah, well, Alec and I met in jazz school.
Yeah.
My background is really rooted in jazz, but I also just love listening to a lot of different like indie music and psych music and all that. And
same thing. It's like obviously jazz school like really hones your focus in a specific direction. But I grew up playing Chicago blues and love all the like blues and R&B and funk stuff.
Wow, that's really. I mean, everything that you get to put into it is really wonderful. We are listening to Unity Effect. It's the latest single that you guys have released. Tell me a little bit more about the inspiration for Unity Effect.
Unity Effect, Alec wrote the lyrics for.
Yeah, we co-write a lot of this stuff, but like the inspiration for that song was just, it was focused on the issue of healthcare in the United States. It's very personal to me because I have a pacemaker and I've had heart problems since I was a young kid, and it really affects my ability to be a musician when I have to pay like double rent on my body to just not die, you know. And so I feel that insurance companies take advantage of that fact.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I just lost my next question. Oh, you mentioned the songwriting, a collaborative process. So you have a new drummer as well. So tell me a little bit more about like getting a new member and how that dynamic is now with this new person in your band.
It's been pretty easy and seamless. She's really cool. She's also a jazz musician, and I feel like what you learn in jazz school is like how to quickly adapt to any musical situation and be ready for kind of anything. So Nikki kind of just came in, learned our tunes, and it's been a good fit. We miss Clayton a lot. He moved to Massachusetts because of COVID, and he's still an important person for our band. But absolutely. Nikki's been amazing, and it's been awesome having another woman in the band too.
Definitely. Well, speaking of inspiring women, how about each of you tell us songs that are uplifting you right now, made by a femme musician?
Well, one of my favorite bands is Crumb, and I really love their new single Trophy that just came out. And then also Hiatus Coyote, female fronted, just released their new single Get Sun, which I'm really excited for the full length album. So those are my two.
Yeah, we both love Crown, so I mirror that. But I love Madison Cunningham and her whole 2019 record, Who Are You Now? That's one that I go back to like probably every other week.
Oh, perfect. Awesome. Well, you guys, it was really nice getting to know you. Thank you so much for joining us, Pacific Ocean.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to hand things back over to Alicia. We're going to talk with Isadora Eden.
Yeah. Hey, guys. Hey, Isadora. Hey, Sumner. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you doing?
Hi, doing well.
Yay, good. Congrats on the new EP release. Now, Isadora, you started off just kind of working on music by yourself, but you've added Sumner into your musical repertoire to co-write with and everything, right?
Yeah, so I was a solo musician for a long time, longer than I wanted to be, honestly. I think it's really hard to find people who have the same musical vision as you and who kind of, you don't have to micromanage them. I mean, if you do, then what's the point of working with somebody else? And I think, yeah, Sumner and I actually met doing a music video for Babe Lord. And yeah, just talked a lot about music and have really similar tastes in some ways and also some really differing parts where I think it creates a really nice mix. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sumner, did you look up her music then? Is that how the collaboration began, or?
Yeah, so whenever we met, we were just, talking about music, and she told me about some of the solo stuff that she was working on. And when I was going home, I listened to her whole just first EP, and I was like, oh, it's really impressed. And I was like, I would love to try to collaborate or something. And a lot of my collaborations just sort of growing up have been more so just jamming and just kind of for fun and stuff. And this kind of wanted to approach this as more of no, I want to actually release something out of this and, write something really compelling, I guess, and, kind of go through the whole process with it. So it was kind of my first stab at that too. So.
Cool. Well, the EP is called All Night. One of my favorite songs on it is Ghosts, and I like the little music video that you did for it that's animated. What was it like writing this song? Because I feel like the lyrics of it are pretty, heavy and reveal a lot.
Yeah. So this song was definitely, it was the last one we wrote for the EP. It wasn't initially even on the EP. There was a different song on it that got cut once this one was written. And it was one of those songs where I wrote it and I was like, usually I write, a solo version of something and then we kind of go back and forth on it to make it into the full band indie rock shoegaze thing that it becomes. And I didn't really like it at first and just uploaded a voice memo that Sumner heard and he was like, we've got to work on this. And yeah, then he kind of led the charge to add drums and make it full band and everything.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where, it kind of just happens where all of a sudden you're working on the song and you're like, yeah, this is a vibe. We gotta keep going with this, And sometimes you don't really know that's going to happen until you just kind of put yourself all into it and stuff. So that was, it was nice. Yeah. It was cool to we had sort of this original lineup that was going to be on the EP and then just decided to work on this one day. And it ended up being really, really compelling and really cool for both of us. So we're like, let's just stick it in.
Cool. Well, we're going to wrap up right now and ask the final question. What's a song by a female artist that uplifts you right now?
Mine would probably be right now Fire by Waxahachie. I think that album's a year old today, right? Yeah, that was one of my that album was definitely a companion of mine this year. I love every song on it, but Fire in particular, I think the rawness of her opening vocal is so awesome and so so confident. It's the kind of thing where I'm like, I would love to have that confidence to just like launch into a song with that, like just fully throwing your voice up there. And the lyrics and everything. I love that song.
Yeah, great one. How about you, Sumner?
Yeah, so I've been pretty obsessed with Fen Lilly's newest album, Breach, and the song Berlin on it. And God, there's so many good songs on that album. I think I especially really like Berlin. And just that whole album is like really, the production is just so like well done, and the instrumentation and her lyrics are just like so compelling. And I always just feel like creatively lifted by it. Like I always feel like really inspired and motivated to want to like work on some more music after listening to her and stuff. So yeah.
Lovely. Well, thank you both for joining in today. This is the Local 303 virtual meetup. We have a couple more artists that we're going to talk to. We're going to check back in with Megan Ellsworth, aka Ellsworth, and then Lady Gang will wrap it up for us. And this is Indie 1023.
And before I get to Ellsworth, I also want to mention Jeremy got to speak with Waxahachie last year about that album. So if you guys haven't heard that interview and like exclusive performances, it's on the website. Go and check it out. But Megan, hi, it's good to let's talk now.
All right, I'm back.
All right,
that was so scary.
That happened to me last week. It happens all the time. But let's like check back in with that first question. Debut self-titled album is out now. We've been listening to it all month. So tell me about releasing this one at the beginning of this year.
Yeah, it was great. It was kind of like this cathartic release moment when it was finally out there. The new year had passed. There was a light at the end of the tunnel. The album came out, and just the response from everybody, from you all, from the community here has just been so beautiful, and it's been really great. I can't wait to start working on the next one.
And when you write and record, what does your process look like? Do you write by yourself and then kind of, you tell me.
Yeah, I definitely am a solo writer for sure. It's more like therapy for me in a lot of ways. So a lot of my songs kind of have themes of mental health, and that is a definite vein in the album for sure. So for the last album, I kind of was sitting on all of those songs for 4, some of them 5 years, and was just focusing on other things. I graduated from music school, and so it was really just like a moment when the album came out. And now, as I'm kind of getting ready for the next album, it's writing a song, bringing it to my backing band, and kind of making it a little more collaborative, but kind of keeping it with myself at the center.
And you also mentioned on your profile on the Local 303 page at Indie 1023 that creativity always finds its way back to you. And this past year really solidified for you your musicianship and wanting to be a musician. So tell me a little bit more about this past year and like how creativity found you.
Yeah, for sure. It's actually kind of strange because I don't know about anybody else here, but I was in the driest of dry spells for inspiration from March to November. I wrote maybe 3 songs, which was maybe sounds like a lot, but to me it was not at all. And actually sad, but my grandfather passed away, not due to COVID, but just natural causes in November. And that kind of was the dam that broke the waters of creativity. And ever since then, it found me again, and I'm trying to hold on to it now.
Definitely. And that leads right into my next question. Like, what is inspiring you to write lately? I mean, we're also it's getting warmer. Spring is here. Does that help? Or, tell me more about how you're writing more lately.
For sure. I'm still definitely writing from a mental health point of view, kind of for myself first and foremost, and hoping that finds a way into the lyrics and eventually that they can help someone else down the road. And if my struggles and my hurt or lessons can help someone else go through their hurt or lessons, that's all I ask. And so yeah, I think inspiration that way, kind of almost like therapying myself through music.
Well, I'm glad we finally got to talk. I'm glad that we get to see your face. Last question. What is a song that's uplifting you right now from a femme musician?
For sure. There are so many. I've been thoroughly obsessed with the Haim album that came, or Haim album that came out last summer, and so just every song on that, and then every song on Phoebe Bridgers' album. And my dear friend and podcast co-host Caroline Stump just came out with her album, and so her single "The Navy's Coming" has also been really just an earworm for me. So yeah,
All
and
right.
all of you ladies too.
I know. Hasn't this been such a great month, like getting to hear everybody's music like every single day? Ellsworth, thank you so much for chatting with us. And I'm going to get to Jen Cordy, aka Lady Gang. Hey, Jen.
Good afternoon.
It's dumb. It's a stupid party trick. That's all it is. I can't help myself.
It's good. I enjoy it.
Hi, babe.
Lady Gang is the project of Jen Cordy. She's kind of like a queen here in Denver. She's got so many different projects, very prolific, 800 shows a week in the normal times. But Lady Gang, you just released the debut full-length album for this project. So tell me more about Full Throttle.
It's an album that Bunny, I totally relate to you. I'm a super shredder. I just wanted to be a shredder. I just wanted to play guitar all the time. But I started producing my own tracks to kind of stay connected to music, because when I was younger, I would, write songs about heartbreak and squalor and being a poor lesbian in the early 2000s. And then I met my wife and got happy, and I didn't have anything to write about until this last election. So a lot of things just started coming out, and I started producing to stay connected. I call it like continuing my education, because I think it's harder to stay connected as you get older to art, to committing to be an artist as your livelihood. So so I called it Full Throttle because I feel like I'm completely self-taught on everything that I do, and I felt like, oh, okay, I'm finally at the point where I can have a seat at the table, and I have something as far as skill sets to offer in all areas of the field, whether it's from like creating events or collaborations or writing for aerial troops to producing songs to playing in 95 different bands and doing all kinds of things. And now I feel like, okay, full throttle, let's hit the gas. Like I have all the things. I got all the things. I got all the tools, So the last one was just to kind of master the internet, which, I'm still working on that.
I think it's pretty good. We're going to talk about that, but I do want to talk about like the sounds on Full Throttle, because it is such a range, but it's still all cohesive. So tell me about the different inspirations that you had writing this album.
I feel like a lot of people tell me that it sounds very 90s to them. I'm in a lot of 90s bands, so I think that probably subconsciously had some influence for me. So it's kind of a cross between like Beck and Missy Elliott met and kind of made an album in some regards. I am also Puerto Rican, so my ocean, and I go to the Caribbean once a year. I used to live there, so my ocean vibe is always there. So every song on the album I played, it's either bass or guitar. There's only a few MIDI things in there, but almost all of it is guitar or bass.
Well, and like I had mentioned to Bevan, you used to do a ton of shows a week, like 4 or 5, and then all of a sudden had to stop. But now you are doing these videos and performances online and making us all laugh and bringing us some joy. So tell me about switching from doing live music all the time to doing everything online.
I didn't realize how hard I was working. I didn't realize that like every day was like, okay, what am I practicing for today? I gotta go to practice, I didn't have a whole lot of quality time to sit with my brain. So I think some of it, when it comes to like the question of artist identity keeps coming up, like who are you as an artist? What's your aesthetic? What's your color scheme? What's your vibe? And so I couldn't put that on paper, and I felt like the best way to do that was visually, especially for Lady Gang when people only know me as Jen Cordy and they know me as like a singer-songwriter. And so the whole rebranding of it is part of that. Yeah, I didn't realize how much I was playing, and then I didn't realize, I don't know, it's just given my brain enough time to come up with ideas, whether it's just like weird little skits on the internet or songs. I'm writing a ton. stuff. So yeah, so I learned how to do video editing software and immediately pivoted to like OBS, and like all the music videos that I've released, I made myself by myself in this weird homemade green screen little tiny room here at my house. So yeah.
So it's been good. Well, we're going to hear a song from you from Full Throttle. Tell me what you're going to be performing for us this afternoon.
This is actually the title track. This is Full Throttle. You know, I don't have to switch instruments in it, so I thought I'd trim the fat on the time. All right. You want me to just do this thing? That's what we're doing?
Let's do it.
I love all of your music. By the way, everybody who's on here, I love all of your music. I clean Airbnbs for a living right now, so I listen to a lot of 102.3. And so I'm very familiar with all of your songs, and I'm just really honored to be here and lift each other up. So if any of y'all ever need anything, hit me up. And special shout out to all the females running Indie 102.3, because it's like the baddest team of women over there. I mean, y'all are great too, fellas, but for real. Okay, this is called Full Throttle. Thank you so much. Well, can you tell me how to quit that? Get back, push me on stage and let me hit this beat while I wrestle my demons in front of these peeps that don't understand this shit ain't for the weak. I'm going full throttle, full beast, like I haven't had a belly full of anything in weeks. Haven't had time to contemplate what it means when I'm pushing pennies just to put 10 to my dreams. Just moving forward every day, even if the gigs don't pay, even if the crowd don't sway, even if y'all hate my face, I'm staying for good. Oh yes, I'm staying for good. And the beat goes bum 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 bum. And the beat goes bum 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 bum. And the beat goes bum 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 bum. And the beat goes bum 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 bum. Will I be my own witness to my bliss? Will I let time tell me I can handle this? Get a job just to say I got some benefits. My skill sets become distant memories. My thoughts stay wrapped up in what might have been. Time never flies if you're watching the hand spin. Don't think that's for me. Sometimes truly believe I have everything I need. Truly believe you ain't got shit on me. Truly believe, yeah, I truly believe. So I'm moving forward every day, even if the gigs don't pay, even if COVID took it away, even if y'all hate my face, I'm staying for good. Oh yes, I'm staying for good. Na 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 na. Bow, 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 bow. Na 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 na. Bow, bow, bow. Na 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 na. Bow, bow, bow. Na 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 na. Bow, bow, bow. 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 I did it. I'm like a shaky chihuahua. I'm like, ugh. Anyway, I appreciate y'all. I'm like a shaky chihuahua over here. This is nerve-wracking, everybody. It is. Anyway,
Right?
thank you.
Thank you so much, Lady Gang. This has been the Local 303 virtual meetup. We do this the final Monday of each month. We'll see you all here again on April 26th at 4 p.m. with some more new Colorado artists. Sneak peek at some of next month's featured musicians: American Culture, Lady, Felix Fast Forward, former Colorado music icon John Grant. And thank you so much to all these powerhouse musicians for joining us in the month of March. My name's Alicia. Thanks to Bruce and the rest of the gang for helping make this happen. And again, join Bruce and I at 6 p.m. for the Boulder Strong special over on Indie 1023, or stream it from our website, indie1023.org. And that's a wrap, everybody. Thank you. Yay.
Thank you so much.
Take care, y'all. Great to see you. Bye, Elin. Bye, Cal. Thank you all. Thanks, Yossi. Thanks, Megan. Bye, Bevan. Thanks, Jen. Bum, bum, bum.